Danny Segura for MMA Junkie. I'm here with Darren Till, who's set to fight Yoel Romero on September 26th at BKFC 94. Darren, how are you? How you been?
I'm tired. I've
Big
just
fight ahead,
finished
man.
sprint. I'm just finished the sprint session, so I'm feeling it. It's that stage of camp where you just want to fight now.
Yeah. You still got about a month, right? Or maybe a little bit more.
6 weeks Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
so
point? What point in the training camp does it get like? Ugh, I just want to get this over with. I want to fight already. Are you that stage right now, or still enjoying?
no. Still enjoying training. Obviously, it's hard today. We had a weight session this morning, and we just done sprints, hill sprints. Then I'd say like in another 2 weeks, like when obviously I'm bringing my weight down a little bit more, and as I say, you just get to that point where you just sort of you're angry with everyone around you. You're angry, you're shouting at the kids and the missus and stuff like that. You just want to fight. So I'd say another 2 weeks I've got in me for being nice to people.
Okay, so it's a good warning, right? Just not to
Yeah,
mess with you. You got about 2 weeks to fuck around with you, and then
yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
straighten up. Um, from what I've heard from people, and we've seen this sort of boxing, BKFC boxing, MMA crossover now in the last few years. Usually for boxing, like getting ready, the preparation, the training camps are a bit nicer than MMA, right? A little bit less grueling.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, obviously, I'm still feeling the after effects from my MMA career. Like in our gym in MMA, we trained we trained famously hard. A lot of people know that. I'm still feeling the after effects, and I've still got injuries from that and stuff. But yeah, I'd say more fitness cardio wise. Boxers are probably maybe more fit in terms of like they do a lot of running and stuff like that. But the training is definitely easier on the body. I think the only thing you have to really worry about is your sparring, but you're only
Yeah.
using hands. So yeah, I would definitely say boxing slash like bare knuckle is definitely easier to train for than MMA.
Yeah. And it's funny, you're fighting Joed here in September, and you famously said over in the UFC that that's the one guy you didn't want to fight, right? And you're like, yeah, fuck that, right? Everybody's always like using bravado and puffing their chest, and you're like, no, that guy, no good. I'm not fighting him. And yet, not only are you fighting him now, but you're fighting him in bare knuckle. Funny how life works out, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously back then it was just tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
Obviously, he was a scary dude then. He's a scary dude now. I think he's always going to be scary. It's Yoel Romero we're talking about. Everyone says he's made in a science lab. But yeah, for me back then it was tongue in cheek. Obviously, I'm not going to ever sit here and try to put on, as you said, bravado and stuff like that. I like to be quite an honest guy, and I think it works, especially with the fans. So, obviously when the fight arose to fight him in bare knuckle, it was mouth-watering for me. And I know he's a little bit older and stuff like that, and the body slows down for a lot of people. But I think when it comes to a guy like Yoel and stuff like that, he's just is what he is. You see his fight in Russia and the BKs, he's still got it. He's still, he still looks younger than what his age actually is. He's still in amazing shape. He still looks like he can't be hurt. So for me, that's a task and a challenge to obviously be like, go in there and really beat him up and hopefully knock him out.
yeah. Yeah, and that's how it was taken, right? Like a little bit tongue in cheek. Obviously, Joel, a formidable guy still. Um, but when this fight came about, did that kind of circle back in your head immediately? Like, oh, as soon as this gets announced, like people are just gonna be going crazy on social.
Yeah, and I think it's obviously the Bernacle were telling me they've had like the biggest viewing figures
Okay,
since they
nice.
started the BKFC with Man and Yoel's fight. So there's obviously a lot of interest in it, and it's different. It's obviously not MMA and stuff like that. Yoel fought everyone in his division MMA. I fought most of the guys as well. But I think it's like I think it's interesting. I'm the younger guy. Yo's the big, older, scarier guy. I think people are interested to see if I can be the guy to take Yol out at his age now, or if he's still got it, he can take a young gun out like myself because I'm still young. Do you know what I mean? I'm only just made 30, so yeah. When they didn't even ask me once they said his name, I was pretty pleased, and obviously I accepted straight away.
Yeah. And you guys had a face off that also went viral. You guys had I don't know if it's the longest face off in history. I know Tyson Fury had a really long one with was it Wilder or Usyk? I can't
I
really remember.
I think it was Usyk.
It was Usyk, right?
I think it was the first fight with Usyk. I'm not so sure, but I think it was. I'm
Yeah.
confident on that one. Yeah.
I'm assuming you didn't expect that going into it. It just kind of played itself out.
No, yeah, because we wasn't doing much trash talk, and Yo was obviously speaking his native tongue Spanish, and I was obviously speaking my native tongue English, and sometimes there's times for trash talk, like with Luke Rockhold and stuff like that. But I think a fight with Yoel, I just don't think anything I say or do it's not gonna get under his skin or change anything of the fight. I think the fight with me and Yoel speaks for itself. So obviously, when I went up there, I didn't have any intention on the face off being that long, but I wanted to let him know that, like, I'm not a boy. Like, I'm a formidable guy myself, and especially when it comes to strike and stand up. And I'm standing right in front of you if you got something to say. And I don't go off face offs. I've never been like that. But
Mhm.
I feel like, he broke character first. He started talking to me and stuff like that, chewing gum. I was just face in front and weren't willing to move until obviously the security and that got into in front of us. But it was very enjoyable, and it was quite scary at the same time. You're a scary guy.
Yeah, I bet. What was he saying? Because like the video that we have is the BKFC video, and there's music in the background, and you guys are not mic'd up, but you can tell he's clearly telling you something. What was he
Yeah,
saying?
I think what I can make out, I think he was saying something along the line like El Nombre, which something like my name. I don't know, like
Maybe he was saying
something.
el hombre. Maybe that's the man.
Yeah, yeah, like he's the man.
Yeah,
Something along them lines. Like it was quite scary. I was going to turn away at one point, but you know what? I enjoyed the face off. I enjoyed his energy. And for me, I do think it's going to be a big test, a big
yeah,
fight. As I said, like people can talk sometimes about age and stuff. I just don't think when age comes into matter with Yoel.
yeah,
He's still got that granite jaw and stuff like that. So it's going to be a test for myself, and it's going to be a test for him to see if he's still got it, especially against a young guy like myself. And I've got extremely good striking. So yeah,
for sure. In this fight, as you mentioned, I'm not surprised that it's breaking numbers for BKFC. Like people are very, very excited. This is a fight that maybe a few years ago in the UFC, like people would have dreamed of this matchup. But even though this fight is awesome and it will be headlining BKFC 94, people were not really expecting it. Kind of came from left field.
yeah,
The obvious one was you versus Mike Perry. That's the first thing
yeah.
people have been thinking about ever since you signed with BKFC, and obviously he's a BKFC King of Violence champion. Was that fight ever in the table in the making, or no?
Not really. No, obviously,
Okay.
obviously, I've come over to bare knuckle, and obviously that is the obviously fight to make. It's been, I think it's now like, I think it's 8 years in the making. So obviously, I have to give big respect to Perry. He is the king of Ireland, the face of Ireland, and stuff like that. But I heard rumours that obviously now he was still signed with MVP and always fighting Dylan Dennis. So that it didn't bother me. I just would like before I do exit the bare knuckle. I'm not saying now or in the
Mhm.
next year or whatever. I do want to stay with them for a while, but I would like to maybe get that fighting. And especially, I don't want him to have so many fights outside of the bare knuckle because he's had a lot of fights and he's weathered a lot of punishment. So
Yeah,
I want us to get that fight while we're both sort of still the same age and still, it'll be. The even matchup that I want it to be, and especially he just keeps going through everyone in the BK, so it's going to be a massive challenge for me as well.
it's got to happen, right? Like that fight has
Yeah,
to be made at some point. It'd be a
I'm
travesty.
gonna be, after this fight with y'all, when I do beat y'all, I'm gonna be calling for it in the ring. I'll be calling for the next day with David, like when I have my phone calls and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So for me, on my side, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it happen. And even if I have to be like, let's say, people like to say the B side, take less money, I'm willing to do that just obviously to get that fight made. Even in like a stadium, something in England, I'm sure we can make that happen.
have you guys had a conversation about this outside from what we've seen publicly on video and going back and forth in social and stuff? Like, have you
Yeah,
guys ever called each other up, be like, "Yo, like,
Yeah,
gotta make
we've
this
we've
happen"?
had conversations, me and him, and obviously I speak to his manager quite closely as well. I know his manager well. At one point, he was going to be managing me, and if I went back to MMA, so I am quite close with his manager. So we've had the conversations, and obviously Malky is a manager. He's a hard ass. He always, he gets the most and best for his fighters. But
Mhm.
we've had conversations. I just think at the moment there's a little bit of politics involved in it. So I think after this fight with me and Yoel, coming through unscathed and with the victory, I think that maybe not December, which is what I was looking for. I think maybe the start of the year that could be the fight with me and Perry. Maybe March or something like that is what I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to happen. I'm looking forward to that fight when it does come to fruition. But first of all, you gotta deal with Joel. That fight is a banger, and very excited for it. Lastly, I do want to ask you about MMA. Obviously, that's where you made your name and your fame, and built your sports combat sports legacy. You haven't fought in MMA since the UFC. You mentioned the injuries at the top of the interview. Are you done with MMA, or do you think there's a chance you fight again? And why haven't you fought MMA since your UFC
I
departure?
I actually don't think I'm done. I've been pondering about it for a while now, and a lot of people like Till. You know, you exited when you fought three because you nearly beat him. Then he went on to be the champ, so you wasn't done with MMA. I don't know why you left, but people don't understand. Like, and this is not me sitting here because I give kudos like to the people I've beat. I beat them fair and square. I think my record's like 19-4 or something in
Hmm.
MMA, and to the people that beat me, like I had such a close fight with Whittaker, but still he won fair and square with Dricus. But people don't realize the severe trauma my body was actually at that point. I wasn't really filled out as a middleweight. Like I wasn't as the size, and just the trauma to my knees. I've had doctors look at it, and they don't even think I should be fighting. Like I have a torn ACL in one and a torn MCL in one another, which I haven't got. I haven't addressed at this point. I'm still walking around with the torn ACL.
Okay.
After my fight with Luke Rockhold, it actually popped out in the changing rooms. My last fight, last camp, it was good. Now it's good. I can do everything, movements and stuff. But it is the reality of it. So I think once I get them knees done and dusted, and obviously I've made all my money inside, whether it be the bare knuckle, misfits, boxing, whatever. I do. I'm hopeful to go back, but it just depends where my career goes in the next year or two. I could be at 35 and think, you know what, I've made enough money. I don't need
Yeah.
to put myself through that again. Like I saved me time, but then again, I could have something in me that says one last run. So it all depends sometimes on how you feel on the day, and because our minds change, don't they, by the day sometimes, especially as fighters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just gonna come down ultimately to how these next 2 years go with me, and yeah, I would actually, if I'm honest with myself, I would actually like to make a return and see how I get on. But I also don't want to push myself into something that I'm probably not ready for again. So who knows?
Yeah. It'd be like a closure moment for you. It sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. Like it'd be like one last go, put everything into it, try and get the belt. If you get the belt, you've conquered a lot of things in sport. You know what I mean? Boxing, bare knuckle,
Yeah.
UFC, Muay Thai. So yeah, I think it's just gonna be how I deal with the next 2 years and how I treat my body and how these fights go and stuff like that for me and how my mind is essentially.
For sure. All right, Darren. Well, I appreciate the time,
Okay.
man. Best of luck.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to this fight
Appreciate
in
it.
September, man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All the best. Bye bye.